Michael Perrine is a detoxification consultant, certified colon hydrotherapist, and the co-owner of Gravity East Village, a cleansing and detoxification consulting office in New York City. He has performed over 10,000 colonic irrigations and supervised thousands of people through various methods of internal cleansing. Michael also worked as a natural food chef at some of New York City's premier natural food restaurants for 8 years. Michael is a very old and dear friend of mine. He taught me how to juice and introduced me to the benefits of colonics. We're sitting here drinking, enjoying this wonderful concoction that you've made. What's in it?
Okay, this is apple, Meyer lemon. You don't like apple? If it can't get you like apple juice, then
go ahead.
The rest of the list. Okay, apple, pineapple, Meyer lemon, orange, beet greens, dandelion, and parsley, and a little bit of beetroot too. This is the kind of juice that builds your body because it builds your bones with the dandelion and parsley and beet greens, but it's also really cleansing because you have a lot of bromelain and pineapple, and dandelion activates the liver to start releasing toxins. So it's cleansing and building at the same time. It's a really intense juice. This isn't like your average apple, celery, cucumber juice. It's really intense.
Let's get into the questions, why I'm here.
Right.
Because I do have a lot of raw food questions because I am not a raw foodist. I eat cooked foods, but I liked the experiment that I did and I felt really good afterwards. But something that's been happening over the course of the past maybe 3 months, which has never happened to me before, I'm a little bit vain, a little bit. I like looking good.
Everybody is. Everybody wants to look good.
I have acne now. First time in my life. Well, maybe a little bit when I was a teenager, but now it's really bad.
Right.
What is your juice doing to me?
It's not so much the juice itself, okay? Mm-hmm. This is the best concept I ever learned. Dr. Fred Bishy taught me this concept. It's what he calls it is the what you leave out theory, okay? So the moment you leave something out that's challenging your body, like what happens when you stop drinking coffee and you've had coffee for, I don't know, the past 10 years every morning?
I start yelling at the kids.
I don't mean you specifically, but what happens specifically to people is they get headaches, they get irritable, they go into withdrawal. So the moment you leave out things that start to challenge the body, it starts to release toxins and you're not going to feel well when that happens. That's the detox process. What's happening now is when you go on a 75% raw food diet, you've left out all these things that are challenging your body, and your body then automatically goes within its tissue, within its cells, within its organs, and starts to bring toxins out into the bloodstream for elimination. And that's what your body's doing, it's throwing it out through the skin. The reason it's throwing it out through the skin is because your intestines aren't able to keep up with the amount that your body's releasing. So that's where colonics come in. Colonics, enemas, and colon cleanses come in. A lot of people ask me, why did you choose to do that for a living? And it's because after years and years of studying nutrition, I found out that 80% of health and vitality comes from what you leave out of your body, and elimination, 20% is actually what goes in. That's where I found the truth in colonics. That's where people had the most physical transformation. Every book on health is written about input. Like, take this antioxidant, take this vitamin, you're not getting enough of this, you have to get this and that. And there's a certain truth to that because, of course, we need to be nourished. We want to get the best food that we can possibly get, and that does serve us really well. It helps us build strong bodies. But when people are spending, hundreds to thousands of dollars on superfoods and they're eating all this fancy raw food, but they're constipated and they have a sluggish liver, it's not doing them any good because their body's slowly starting to release things, but they can't get the old stuff out.
When will the acne go away? When does this stop? Because this is a problem. I mean, this is my main concern, and then we'll get into more serious questions from subscribers.
When it's going to stop is hard to say. It depends on everybody and what's in their system. I mean, if Keith Richards decided to go on a cleansing program, he might have some things come up for a long time, if you know what I mean.
So there's no quick fix.
There's no.
That's what I want. I want the miracle acne cure from you.
For most people, there's no quick fix to detoxing.
This is the terrible answer.
You have to go through the process. People that get into it when they're young, they're like 19 years old, 18 years old, and people just for whatever reason decide to become vegans or they're really into like health and life and they get into that. You skate right through the process. But when people are in their 30s, and we had a lot of
who's in their 30s?
Experience.
I don't even know who you're talking about. But let's move on. I'm sorry. Your best advice for transitioning into a raw lifestyle?
Leaving out processed foods. That means like the chips and the brownies and the Twinkies and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully most people aren't eating that, but McDonald's, hopefully that's all gone. You get that stuff out consistently.
But can I say something here?
Yeah.
People don't know what processed foods are. Because I say that. I say, stop, I don't eat processed foods. And then people get confused, well, what does that mean? And I usually say, most stuff from a can or a box, those types of things. So if it didn't grow out of the ground that way,
perfect.
then that's processed food.
Things that are not found in nature are processed foods.
Like bread.
Bread's one of them, yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah, definitely. And then the things to really include are clean water, raw vegetable juice, and raw salad.
Is there a way to detox away cravings, to cure food addictions or negative food addictions? If you love sugar or if you love cupcakes, can you detox that away?
Yeah, definitely. The more cleansing you do, the more good food you put in, eventually those cravings go away. It's like smoking cigarettes. That was the hardest thing that I ever stopped doing. I don't have a craving for that, period.
You smoke cigarettes?
I did for 7 years, yeah.
Wow.
Stopped smoking. It was so difficult to do. I mean, some people say it's harder to quit than heroin or methadone. I don't know about either one of those two things, but it was hard. I could see how that might be. But it just goes away. So a lot of people, when we're working with them at our office or when we're talking to people about this, they think of when they look at me, they think of my life as this life of abstinence. Like I'm constantly fighting off this battle of food.
I know you better than that.
No, I would not have. I would not have lasted 16 years doing this kind of thing if I was not extremely excited and happy with the food that I have. I want salad when I come home every day.
I don't know if that's going to happen to me because I'm just not a salad person, but I do crave different things.
You'll want something. You'll want some vegetables or something if you stick with it. Whatever healthy food you're eating now, you're going to want that.
Your favorite raw recipe for dressing? Favorite raw dressing recipe?
Almond butter dressing, and I'm putting it on really hearty vegetables. So what's in it? It's a little bit of lemon juice, splash of apple cider vinegar, almond butter. I put a red pepper in there for the liquid. A little bit of hot chili, some garlic, some sea salt. I think I put a splash of namashoyu in there. And
of a what?
Namashoyu, which is.
I thought you said an Amish boy.
I put I put the finger of an Amish boy in
there.
Don't
do that. That's not vegan. Go ahead.
And maybe a splash of agave nectar or something like that.
Okay.
Blend it all up. It's amazing, delicious. That's my favorite thing now.
Fruit juices, because I don't put fruit in my juices, and I've noticed that a lot of people that did this raw challenge and on YouTube do very fruit heavy juices because they can't take the vegetable.
Yeah.
A vegetable juice that's going to satisfy the fruit tooth, as the subscriber put it.
Right. Any greens that you like. Obviously, the greens we chose today are a little intense for some people, right?
Fantastic.
But
I love it.
Kale, lettuce, sprouts, celery, cucumber, dandelion, collard greens are great. So any of those deep greens, right? And then you mix them basically with just some apples and lemon is perfect. That'll do it. But you can also juice, if you want to juice the tropical fruits, you can do that too. We put pineapple in this here today. Life is like a classroom where we come to learn to love each other. So all of the challenges, especially the human body, all of the challenges that come with the human body, let's take it because we're talking about the physical. We'll take what the physical meaning is spiritually for us as spiritual beings. The reason the body gets sick, the reason the body communicates to us is to teach us to love ourselves, to listen, to build an awareness of what's around us, because one of the reasons why everybody's getting sick and everybody's having problems and everybody hates their body and everybody wants something else is because we're so disconnected from the source. We're so disconnected from each other and we're so disconnected from the earth. So that little microcosm, it's so much bigger than that, the meaning of life, but that in itself teaches us so many lessons, just having to walk around with this and learn to respect it and learn to listen to it. And it brings up so many fantastic things. Disease itself brings up so many fantastic things. When people find out that they have terminal cancer, immediately they start to question their life, everything that they did, everything they didn't do. They start to question all of their relationships and how they were with people. That's the point. The physical body's nothing. So when somebody does, or perhaps they heal themselves and they gain something completely different from that. But those are all of the gifts in what life has to give us.
Well, that was a very serious answer.
I contemplate these things a lot.